This is Bobby C. reporting from the world's most famous arena. We begin our look at sports this week with the New York Rangers, whose struggles continue. The Isles had a bounce-back period in the third. First, they were trailing 2-1 going into the third. They win this one 3-2.
It's a heck of a rivalry. No matter where teams are in the standings, it doesn't really matter. It's always a pretty passionate game. So it's got to come out in the third. That was a huge push for our team, and obviously we knew we have to keep winning. So got those points and move forward, and I think that's the important part.
We were excited all week to get it going tonight, and we kind of talked about each other's roles on the line, and getting pucks to net was huge for us tonight. And these guys have really stepped in and stepped up, and of late, and it's been huge for us.
We worked and battled, and we're persistent on turning pucks over early, which is I just don't get it. But we got to get pucks in, and we start doing that as the game goes on. We play with good pace. We play with big-time effort. We got some big goals, so it was a huge win.
Another bitter defeat for the Rangers, who also fell to the New Jersey Devils on Tuesday night in overtime.
You guys had a strong start tonight. What went wrong in the third period?
I think it was the penalty kill. I think, like we talked about, a 2-1 lead. You got to get the job done. But, even after that, I don't think we created enough in the third as much as we wanted to.
You got to find ways to score, and especially when games are tight, you don't get too many grade A's. So if you get one, you got to try to bear down. But I said their goalie played well, and came down to special teams again for us. So we're gonna just fly tomorrow, and can't sit back and feel bad for ourselves. So we've been playing well on the road, so we'll just look forward to a couple good road games.
Andrew Ladd scored the tie-breaking goal with about 7.5 minutes remaining in the third period, and the Islanders rallied for the 3-2 victory over the crosstown rival Rangers on Wednesday night. The Islanders, who beat the Rangers for the third time in 4 games this season, and 7 of 8 over the last 2, won for just the second time in 6 games. The Islanders also improved to 17-9-4 since interim coach Doug Waite replaced the fired Jack Capuano. Isles will be in Pittsburgh tonight before returning to the Barclays Center for a homestand. The Rangers will be in Los Angeles on Saturday night, beginning their 3-game California trip. The Blue Shirts expect star goalie Henrik Lundqvist will play this weekend after being sidelined since March 7th with a hip injury. So I was wrong about Iona College last Friday, folks, but I was most definitely right about March Madness and the upsets, perhaps more than ever. Last night, number 11 Xavier topped number 2 Arizona 73-71 as another top seed fell. Brackets busted galore. The Elite Eight is upon us. Our BronxNet cameras will spend the weekend at the NCAA East Regional at Madison Square Garden when the tournament started. The East Region expected to see defending champ Villanova and perhaps ACC champ Duke. But since last week, we've seen so many fall. Upsets in the first 2 rounds included number 7 South Carolina 88, number 2 Duke 81, number 7 Michigan 73, number 2 Louisville 69, number 11 Xavier 91, number 3 Florida State 66, number 8 Wisconsin 65, number 1 Villanova 62, number 12 Middle Tennessee 81, number 5 Minnesota 72. Georgetown has fired head coach John Thompson III, the school announced Thursday. Thompson spent the past 13 seasons in charge of the Hoyas, going 278 and 151 with 8 NCAA tournament appearances. Changing of the guard there. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. Triple G also knocked out my prediction of the Brooklyn kid Daniel Jacobs finding glory at the Mecca of boxing last weekend. But Jacobs and Triple G went the distance. Triple G retained the belt. UFC's biggest competitor, Bellator, is coming to MSG. Chael Sonnen's long-awaited rivalry against Vanderlei Silva was announced Monday as the Bellator 180 main event at the Garden is set for June 24th. On the ice, former Ranger Jaromir Jagr had 2 assists and passed Hall of Famer Gordie Howe for the most points after turning 40 years old with 269 as the Florida Panthers beat the New York Rangers 4-3 last Friday night. The ageless wonder, Jaromir Jagr. Tom Brady's stolen jersey from this year's Super Bowl has been recovered after being found in the possession of a member of the international media, according to the NFL. The media member allegedly stole both of his last 2 Super Bowl winning jerseys. The jerseys were found in Mexico and are currently being authenticated by authorities. Jerseygate is solved. The Giants have restructured running back Shane Vereen's contract. The Giants are expected to save an additional $843,750 against the salary cap. Geno Smith is now a backup quarterback for the Giants, moving from the Jets to the G-Men. Smith will have to battle Josh Johnson and possibly a draft pick for a roster spot after receiving a pact that included minimal guaranteed money. The Jets passed on Colin Kaepernick at quarterback but added depth to their quarterback core by signing former Brown Josh McGowan to a one-year deal, the team announced on Monday. The Jets also signed wide receiver Quentin Patton on Thursday. Jets defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson posted a video Wednesday on Instagram in which he mocks a newspaper report that he has a weight problem. You calling me chubby? I was hoping Team USA would shock the world in the World Baseball Classic, and they did. They won the fourth installment, topping Puerto Rico 8-0. The WBC did cost the Yankees, though. Didi Gregorius injured his shoulder and will be sidelined all of April. He was playing for the Netherlands. The Yankees have sent down Gleyber Torres to AA Trenton, making it official that he won't replace Didi. The Yankees had already said repeatedly that he would not, despite being the fans' choice. Ronald Torreyes is the logical short-term choice for the Yanks, though Tyler Wade could be the starter. He's had a nice spring. So has Yankee ace Masahiro Tanaka. He's been scoreless all spring and also combined recently with relievers for a no-hitter against the Detroit Tigers in spring training. Since the Yankees have 3 off days in the first 2 weeks of the year, they could wait until April 17th, the 13th game of the season, before using a 5th starter. Jordan Montgomery, a rookie lefty, continues to campaign for that spot. Greg Bird was named the starter at first base this week in spring training. He proceeded to hit 2 home runs the day of the announcement. Nice job. Meanwhile, Chris Carter this spring is hitting around 100 with 20 strikeouts. Yikes. TJ Rivera has 3 career Major League Baseball home runs in 33 games for the Mets. He hit 2 for Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic. It was nice to see the Bronx native, an up-and-coming Met, do what he does best, and that's hit. Zach Wheeler, once a top pitching prospect, hasn't pitched in a regular season game since 2014 due to Tommy John surgery. The Mets may have to move him to the bullpen this year. He has struggled this spring. The Mets are moving their exhibition game against Army to Citi Field next Friday. Army's field is still under snow. Tim Tebow was informed by the Mets on Monday that he will be assigned to Class A Columbia following spring training. The Yankees and Mets are mourning the passing of former manager Dallas Green. Green, who led the Phillies to the 1980 World Series title and spent 62 years involved in baseball, has passed away at the age of 82. He was a great baseball mind and will be missed. On the hardwood, the Knicks just keep losing. They remain tied with Sacramento for the 6th worst record in the NBA. Jeff Van Gundy was reminded on the ESPN broadcast of Knicks Jazz this week that Carmelo Anthony has had 5 head coaches in 7 years in New York. He said continuity and stability are so critical to a team's development. Brooks Lopez had a buzzer beater on Tuesday, and he improved the Nets record this month to 5-7. Their most wins in a month this season. They went 4-37 from December to February. On the same night, Brooks' brother, Robin, a twin, a former Knick as well, got into a fist fight with Serge Ibaka. Both were ejected. The brothers Lopez. Cool article this week from the NBA. The league's secret addiction, folks, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Players have them before games throughout the league. But for All-Star Dwight Howard, he apparently has consumed about 24 candy bars a day, according to his nutritionist. You name it, he ate it, she says. Skittles, Starburst, Rolos, Snickers, Mars bars, Twizzlers, Almond Joys, Kit Kats, and oh, how he loved Reese's Pieces. Howard has reportedly changed his diet, of course. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a tribute to one fine New Yorker. This past week, the journalism world said goodbye to a great man who also had a voice in sports. Jimmy Breslin was the biggest, the baddest, the brashest, the best columnist in New York City, and often he was the first to say so as well. The Pulitzer Prize-winning former Daily News columnist died Sunday at age 88, leaving an unparalleled legacy. The college dropout was, with Gay Talese, Tom Wolfe, and Hunter Thompson, considered one of the avatars of the new journalism, taking a more literary approach to reporting the news. His columns, one after another, 3 times a week, decade after decade, shaped newspapers, helped shape a city, a state, and a nation. Though based in New York, Breslin's work was hardly limited by geography. He reported from Vietnam and was standing just 5 feet from Robert Kennedy when the presidential hopeful was assassinated inside Los Angeles' Ambassador Hotel in 1968, according to his obit. Perhaps his best-known piece was the remarkable and oft-praised story of Clifton Pollard, the $3.01 an hour worker who dug President John F. Kennedy's Arlington National Cemetery grave. It's that kind of journalism that we should all strive for, even in sports. The gravedigger quote. Breslin went from Washington to Dallas, where he had, in another scoop, interviewed the Parkland Memorial Hospital surgeon who desperately worked on the dying JFK. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo told reporters Sunday the former news writer was the epitome of a New Yorker. He was the people's voice, Cuomo said. With all that and all that is going on in the world today, especially here in the Big Apple and on the sports scene as well, I think Mr. Breslin will be missed more than ever. Thank you for being a beacon. Others will carry the torch now. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.